The best way to measure your weight loss progress is not what you think. Now, you've seen videos of me stepping on the scale. You're probably using the scale as the primary tool to measure progress with your weight. But I'm gonna tell you, that is not the best way to measure progress with your weight loss. Another one is pulling out the measuring tape, okay? That is not the best way to measure whether you're losing weight, okay? Maybe there's a pair of pants that you can finally fit into. That's not actually the best way to measure your weight loss. It's none of those things, okay? I'm gonna give you the absolute best way, best tool that you can use to measure whether you are definitely on the right path, okay? And also in this video, I'm gonna share with you how I lost over 40 pounds in just 10 weeks, okay? That's all it took was 10 weeks. I started January 2nd, and by March 11th, I was down over 40 pounds, 43 pounds to be exact, okay? Now, before we get into the best measurement to see if you're on the right path to losing weight, for those of you who are new to my channel and don't know who I am, my name is Ernst. I'm an intermittent keto fasting coach who, all the way back in 2018, I started my weight loss journey where I lost 70 pounds in just 7 months, okay? I kept that weight off for a good 2 years, and then we all know what happened in 2020. I got very comfortable, I put some weight back on, and for 4 years, I struggled with my weight. Until this year in 2025, I started January 2nd, and when I got to March 11th, I hit my goal of losing about 190. I didn't lose 190 pounds. I got to my goal of 190. I started at 233, got down to 190. I just turned 49 in March, and here we are at my goal. Now, the best way that you know for sure you're on the right track is when you get random strangers that you have never spoken to, maybe at your gym, maybe these are people that you've seen in the grocery store over and over again, and they're coming up to you saying, whoa, what have you been doing? You have lost a lot of weight. Man, you are absolutely shredded. You start getting compliments like that, you know you're on the right track with your weight loss goals. I mean, just think about that, okay? How much courage and how much humility would it take for some random person that you've never spoken to just come up to you and tell you, whoa, what have you been doing? Now, this is actually what's been happening to me in my gym. The past couple days, I have had just random strangers who have never spoken to me, who I see there all the time and they see me, but I've had random guys just come up to me saying, you are absolutely shredded. What the heck? How did you do it? You start getting compliments like that, you know you are on the right track. Now listen, I want you to hear me out on this. I don't say this to brag, okay? I'm not saying this to say, oh, look at me, I'm bragging, okay? I try to stay very, very humble, but let me tell you something. There is nothing that tastes as good as thin does. I don't care how good that chocolate tastes. I don't care how good that pizza tastes or whatever your favorite foods. I don't care how good that tastes. Nothing tastes as good as thin does. And nothing tastes as good as when someone comes up to you, random people who have never spoken to you, and they start giving you compliments like that, okay? Now, I want to give you the exact strategy that I did to lose 43 pounds in just 10 weeks, okay? So just stick to the end. I want to talk about that. Now, when I think about the humility of these people coming up to me saying these things, I'm like, man, I don't even think I could do that. I don't think I could just randomly go up to somebody and say, wow, you look absolutely shredded. You've lost a lot of weight. But wait a minute, come to think about it, I think the reason why I've never actually said that is because I don't think in my experience of being in the gym for over 24 years, I don't think I have ever seen anyone make a significant transformation. I think that's the reason why I actually have said that to anybody. And it got me thinking, like, well, why is that? Why do so many people go to the gyms in January? They're getting their memberships. Maybe they've been training in the gyms for years like I have, but they actually never make a change. They just look the same year after year. Like, what's the point? What's the point to going to the gym to not actually see a physical transformation? Look, it's great to see the scale go down, but how do you look in the mirror? Okay, the scale isn't the only way you measure progress. Measuring your waistline is not the only measurement of progress. Your cravings going down, your hunger going down, that's not the only way to measure progress. The best way is when people, like I said, just randomly come up to you telling you, whoa, what are you doing? How did you get so shredded? Okay, now let me just get right into what did I do to actually achieve that? Now, this is tough. I'm gonna tell you something. I started thinking as I'm working out in the gym and these people are telling me this, I started thinking in my mind, not too many people can do what I did. What I did was pretty extreme. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, no pun intended. Not too many people can do what I did. You can go the slow way. A lot of people go the slow way, but I wanted to do it fast before spring, before we get into summer, okay? And I'm gonna get to what I did in just a second, but something else just came to my mind. I started thinking also in the gym, I started thinking, why do trainers in the gym not share with their clients how to get shredded? Because every person I see in the gym who has a one-on-one coach in the gym, like a personal trainer, they don't ever change. I don't see any weight loss. I don't see them getting fit. And I know why. Most trainers know how to train you well in the gym as far as working out, but they don't share the way to get fit through diet. And we all know you can't out-train a bad diet. I started thinking, it keeps the personal trainers in business. If they keep you, and I'm not saying they're deliberately doing this, but my theory is they're very good at training you with exercise, with weights, resistance training, all that kind of stuff. And they're not really sharing the real way to lose weight. It keeps that client coming back for more and more and more, but they never see any change. It's a way to keep the personal trainers in business. Just a theory, but I gotta tell you, I've seen so many personal trainers train clients, and I'm like, these clients aren't changing. I don't see them losing weight. And so that's just a theory of mine. I think it's a way to keep personal trainers in business because they want the client to come back for more and more and more. And I think that's kind of messed up if that's what's going on. Okay, so let's get into exactly what I did starting January 2nd. January 2nd, I started with a 5-day water fast. That's brutal. Not too many people can do a 5-day water fast, but I typically do that twice a year. I'll do one in January and one in June. And that's how I started my weight loss journey. I wanted to start off with a bang, okay? In that first 5 days, I lost 15 pounds, okay, right out the gate. Obviously, most of that was water weight, guys, okay? It's not total fat. Some of it was fat, but it was a lot of water weight, okay? That was number one. Number two, I've always been a keto guy. I thought, you know what, let me just do carnivore. I've never actually done the carnivore diet, so I started eating nothing but meat and eggs. That's it. Meat and eggs. I'd have some avocado, something like that. But typically just carnivore, okay? I did that. I was going to do it for 30 days, and I thought, man, I really like the carnivore diet, so I stuck with it. So I've continued to stick with the carnivore diet, and in about 60 days in, I would kind of transition to keto. And really the only difference between keto and carnivore is that keto diet, you can have vegetables, okay? So that's pretty standard on keto. You can have vegetables, you can have, like nuts and seeds and those kind of things, whereas carnivore, it's strictly meat, okay? So I did that for 60 days. Then from there, and I would eat basically 2 meals a day with that carnivore diet, by the way. 2 meals a day, about 1,800 calories. So I did that for a while. and then my weight started to stall a little bit. So let me just try 1 meal a day. So I did that for a good week or two. I would do 1 meal a day. Then I implemented one fast every weekend. So I would basically have my last meal on a Friday and I wouldn't break my fast until Sunday. So I started implementing that every single weekend, not eating on the weekends until Sunday. Okay, so basically just fasting all day Saturday, okay? After that, I did what was called, and you may have seen the video on this, my alternate day egg fast. Okay, that's where I was only eating 500 calories, just 5 eggs with butter, 500 calories, and then the next day I would eat my normal 2 meals a day at 1,800 calories. And then the next day I did just 5 eggs, the next day would be 1,800 calories. So basically an alternate day fast where on certain days my calories were very low, 500 calories, and then I would eat normally on the other days, okay? And that's pretty much what I did. So it was a 5-day fast, did carnivore, switched from carnivore to keto, 2 meals a day. Then I would drop down to 1 meal a day. And then I did my alternate day fast. And then I would do a fast every weekend. Wouldn't eat anything on a Saturday. That's basically the whole plan in a nutshell. Now that sounds very hard. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. It was hard. I had to make a lot of sacrifices, but you know what else is harder? Being overweight is hard, okay? Losing weight is hard. So choose your hard. What's it gonna be? Are you gonna continue to suffer and stay overweight? Well, that's hard. That's hard being overweight. I know, there's certain things I couldn't do because I was overweight. Being, 240 something pounds back in 2018, being 230 something pounds this year. It was hard. I couldn't run, I was out of breath. All kinds of stuff that I couldn't do. But now that I've gotten down to 190, I can do so much more. I feel better. My energy levels have skyrocketed. I remember when I used to take naps during the afternoon. For some reason, my camera cut out there, but I was basically saying that I used to take naps in the afternoon. And now I don't take any naps. My energy is so, I wouldn't say it's like this crazy amount of energy, but it's more of a sustained energy all throughout the day where I just feel normal. I feel normal. I don't feel sleepy. I don't feel tired or any of that stuff. And I contribute that to my diet. When you keep your blood sugars low and you prevent your insulin from spiking all throughout the day, you will find you will have all day energy. You won't have those slumps. You won't have those crashes that a lot of people experience after they have a meal, okay? So, I guess what I'm trying to say in this video is keep going. I don't say this to depress you or discourage you. Keep going, okay? It is worth it. When you're getting random strangers coming up to you, complimenting you like that, it keeps you motivated to stay on track and keep going. So I want to encourage you, keep going, stay strong. You can do this. So with that said, if you've been struggling on your weight loss journey, maybe you're not sure how to eat, how to train, maybe you're finding yourself going off your plan because you're lacking the accountability. You need some type of skin in the game to keep going. You need someone to just tell you exactly what it is to do. Well, I've coached hundreds of men from all over the world to lose at least 40 pounds in 16 weeks. Okay, so if you need some help with that, I can help you. Now, what I've done is I've put a link in the description of this video. All you gotta do is click that link. You'll be sent to another video that kind of explains a little bit about what I do and how I can potentially help you. And really the call is designed to just see if you and I would be a good fit to actually work together. It may not be the right fit, okay? But we won't know until we actually jump on that call to see if you are. So if that has any interest to you at all, I would encourage you, click that link in the description, and we'll just have a quick conversation. And we'll just talk about 3 things. We'll talk about where you're currently at with your body, where you would really like to be, and then we'll figure out a game plan to get you unstuck so you can start living a healthier life, a longer life, and you start getting people noticing that, wow, you've made a significant transformation. Until then, I'll see you next time.